and the big story breaking right now. NDTV has exclusively accessed the cash for bail tapes, a scam that was run from Tihar jail. Jailed ex-Ranbaxy billionaire Shivinder Singh's wife Aditi Singh is heard discussing cash payments with Conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar in explosive phone transcripts. Shivinder Singh, a healthcare tycoon, has been in jail along with his brother Malvinder since October 2019 over charges of money laundering. Shivinder Singh's wife, over a period of 12 months, appears to have paid more than 200 crore rupees to the conman, Sukesh Chandrasekhar, who called the family from Tihar jail using software that allowed him to impersonate high-ranking government officials, like none other than India's Home Secretary. The Singhs are heard discussing payments that will help secure bail for Shivinder Singh. The Enforcement Directorate began tapping these conversations in June, which ultimately led to Sukesh's arrest in August. NDTV's Arvind Gunasekar reports.
The ED's charge sheet against Conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar contains recordings of at least 80 conversations between Conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar and Aditi Singh, wife of Ranbaxy founder Shivinder Singh, Aditi's sister Arundhati Khanna, and Shivinder Singh himself. Some of these recordings were made by the family and given to the Enforcement Directorate after Enforcement Directorate alerted them about being duped in the name of government officers. The Singhs then went so far as to file a police case alleging extortion of 200 crore by Sukesh Chandrasekhar. Curiously, no case has been filed against them for attempting to pay off officials. Instead, Aditi Singh has alleged that she was being threatened and harassed.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, you really care? You really think people do care about who is promise breaker or not? Because let me tell you something. We are the one who are following up with you and coming to you again and again. Not just because you are going to organize some 5 crore, 10 crore or 20 crore and give. Let me tell you something. Okay.
But Abhinav, it's been a 1 year of building a relationship.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. If we want to do that, we can just snap out of things. Please understand.
And why would you do that?
We are not that kind of people. No, we can. Because the way of your behaviors, we can.
But what is my behavior?
Yeah, I'm just telling you, there's no point of arguing right now. So the only thing I'm saying to you is that we are people with ethics. We are people who care about your well-being. So that is the reason I'm telling you again and again, you will be able to pay because we know the truth.
But I don't know the truth now. I've been grappling with the truth and asking you.
If you don't know the truth and you have trusted us and done everything, so you're supposed to blindly go with the thing saying, okay, yes, if he's saying, he's saying.
पर मैं कब तक he's saying करती रहूं?
He's saying, वही सच है.
मतलब जब मेरा था तब तो ठीक था. मैंने सब कुछ दे दिया, आंख बंद करके, बिना क्वेश्चन पूछे, बिना मिले, बिना क्वेश्चन पूछे, पार्टी को सब कुछ दे दिया, है ना?
Okay.
पर अब मैं औरों से भी जाके ले लिया. पर ये कब तक चलता रहेगा?
कब तक? No, this will keep going. Now, your position, listen to me. Please understand. 1 second. You will be doing till the time your husband comes. After your husband comes, which is now, he will continue also doing his
But
own
how?
thing.
In this third excerpt, Sukesh calls Aditi Singh pretending to be Union Home Secretary Ajay Kumar Bhalla, claiming that the Home Minister is following their case, except, of course, he is not, since this is not the real Home Secretary.
Hello, Aditi ji.
Ji speaking.
Yes, good afternoon. Ajay Kumar Bhalla this side, Home Secretary of India. Is this a good time? I can talk to you.
Good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir, of course. It's a privilege to talk to you, sir. Ji, sir, I understand. Sir, may I make a small request? I'm sorry, I've been requesting for a meeting, and I would really like to come and meet if that is at all possible at any point of time. I would be most grateful for that.
I would like to mention to you that I'm sure you have been told even before that there is certain right time for things to be done. So Mr. Anup will definitely tell you. I will also take this request to the Honorable Home Minister and I will tell Amit Shah ji your request. But it will be honored as time to come.
Ji sir, I would be grateful. I would be grateful
on that regard.
Ji sir.
Okay,
I understand.
but you need to understand
Ji,
you are being handled and taken care by the topmost office of this country. That is why we all are calling you and we all are being associated with you. But we would want you to go by our instructions, as we are not okay in accepting advices and suggestions from your end.
Ji sir. Ji, I'm sorry if I don't want to be out of line. Ji sir. Ji sir. Ji
Because
sir.
the Honorable Home Minister especially asked me to personally call you up and have a word with you.
Ji, I am
As
most
we
grateful, sir,
understand-
and it's my privilege.
As we understand, you are not on the same path that you have been following all this while because of the new developments. But if that is what is the reason, then we might be recusing ourselves from this. As I'm sure that Anup ji must have informed you, we are okay with working with you as how you have worked with us before. We have a lot of high net worth individual families who we support and who are a part of this organization. Everybody are in a different situation as you are, but they understand when they deal with the first office of this country. We hope that you also follow and understand the same.
Right. My colleague Arvind Gunasekar, who's broken that exclusive story, is joining us now. Arvind, those tapes, of course, tell their own story. But at this point, who have you reached out to? And, what are they saying? The Singh family, the Enforcement Directorate, the police. This is like nothing really that we've come across before.
Yeah, Ankita, this is an exclusive story that NDTV has access as part of the Enforcement Directorate, as part of its charge sheet. They have submitted all this audio conversation that they recorded, and also those audio recordings that were recorded by the family of Aditi Singh. All those have been submitted with the Enforcement Directorate, and the Enforcement Directorate has annexed all this, almost 84 audio recordings as part of its charge sheet in the Delhi court. What is important here is that this particular extortion that was run by Conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar, who was lodged in Tihar jail at that particular time from June 2020 till July 2021. That is for almost 1 year. He extorted somewhere close to 200 crore from Aditi Singh, who is the wife of Shivinder Singh, the former owners of Ranbaxy Pharmaceuticals. So Sukesh Chandrasekhar impersonating several high-profile government functionaries, including the Union Home Secretary, including the Law Secretary. He extorted almost 200 crore from Aditi Singh in the guise of securing bail to Shivinder Singh, who is the husband of Aditi Singh. But what is very important here is that if it was not for Enforcement Directorate, this particular extortion racket would have continued till this particular date. In fact, in a lead from a completely different case, the agency got to know that there is something amiss going on around the family of Shivinder Singh, and that's when the agency put the numbers of Aditi Singh under interception, and that's where they recorded all this conversation, after which Aditi Singh was confronted with all this evidence, and then Aditi Singh was informed. In fact, all these people, according to her, though she was believing that government officials are speaking to her, but Enforcement Directorate told her in the second week of July that it's not the government official, it's not the Union Home Secretary, it's not the Union Law Secretary, but it is a conman, Sukesh Chandrasekhar, who is trying to dupe them and extort money from them to the tune of 200 crore. After which Aditi Singh filed a complaint with the Delhi police, and Delhi police arrested almost 11 people in this particular case, and Delhi police has already filed a charge sheet. Now the Enforcement Directorate has also filed a charge sheet in this particular case. We did reach out to both Aditi Singh and also Delhi police asking for their comments, because this is not just a extortion racket here, but what we are also hearing from all this explosive tapes, it clearly shows that Sukesh Chandrasekhar did get money from Aditi Singh in order to secure the release of Shivinder Singh. So we have reached out to both the family of Shivinder Singh and also the Delhi police on the further investigation to this particular aspect, whether this should be construed as a payment for securing the release of Shivinder Singh. All these details we have sought from the Delhi police. We are yet to get a response from both Aditi Singh and also from Delhi Police.
All right, Arvind, we will of course come back to you when you have an update or some sort of comment or reaction. But for the moment, thank you for joining us with that exclusive story.